Welcome to ExHub MCQs. Today, we explore the making of a global world, covering 100 essential MCQs with detailed explanations. Stay tuned till the end to master key concepts and historical insights for your exams. MQ1. What was one of the earliest known examples of global trade? Option A, the Atlantic slave trade. Option B, the Silk Routes. Option C, the Industrial Revolution. Option D, the British East India Company. The correct answer is option B, the Silk Routes. Explanation: the Silk Routes connected Asia, Europe, and Africa, facilitating trade of silk, pottery, spices, and precious metals for centuries. These routes played a significant role in cultural exchanges and the spread of religions like Buddhism and Christianity. MC2. Which European country was primarily responsible for the colonization of South America in the 16th century? Option A, Portugal. Option B, Spain. Option C, France. Option D, Britain. The correct answer is option B, Spain. Explanation: Spain conquered vast territories in South America, bringing diseases, weapons, and horses that devastated indigenous populations. The Spanish Empire extracted precious metals and resources, significantly influencing global trade and wealth distribution. MCQ 3. How did the introduction of potatoes from the Americas impact Europe? Option A, it increased food supply and population growth. Option B, it led to soil degradation. Option C, it reduced European dependence on wheat. Option D, it replaced bread as a staple food. The correct answer is option A, it increased food supply and population growth. Explanation: potatoes, introduced from the Americas, became a staple crop in Europe, leading to better nutrition, lower food prices, and population growth. However, over-reliance on potatoes led to crises like the Irish potato famine. MCQ 4. What was the primary reason for the rapid conquest of the Americas by the Spanish? Option A, advanced weaponry. Option B, superior numbers. Option C, support from indigenous groups. Option D, the spread of European diseases. The correct answer is option D, the spread of European diseases. Explanation: diseases like smallpox, to which indigenous populations had no immunity, devastated Native American societies, making conquest easier for the Spanish. Smallpox alone wiped out large parts of the population before Europeans even reached some areas. MCQ 5. What was the primary economic activity in the American colonies that contributed to global trade? Option A, industrial manufacturing. Option B, mining and plantation agriculture. Option C, fishing and shipbuilding. Option D, handicrafts and small-scale farming. The correct answer is option B, mining and plantation agriculture. Explanation: the American colonies, especially in the Caribbean and South America, produced valuable commodities like sugar, cotton, and tobacco using slave labor. These goods were exported to Europe, fueling global trade networks. MC6. What major technological advancement helped expand trade and food transportation in the 19th century? Option A, steamships and railways. Option B, refrigeration and canned food. Option C, automobiles and highways. Option D, airplanes and telegraph. The correct answer is option A, steamships and railways. Explanation: the development of steamships and railways allowed for faster and more efficient transportation of goods over long distances. This revolutionized global trade, linking agricultural regions with ports and markets. MCQ 7. Why did Britain repeal the Corn Laws in the mid-19th century? Option A, to support local farmers. Option B, to lower food prices and avoid social unrest. Option C, to increase its wheat exports. Option D, to promote self-sufficiency. The correct answer is option B, to lower food prices and avoid social unrest. Explanation: the Corn Laws had kept food prices high, benefiting landlords but hurting industrial workers and consumers. Their repeal allowed cheaper imports, improving living standards and increasing consumption in Britain. MCQ 8. What was a major reason for large-scale European migration to America in the 19th century? Option A, discovery of gold and other resources. Option B, war and political instability in Europe. Option C, lack of agricultural land in Europe. Option D, all of the above. The correct answer is option D, all of the above. Explanation: economic opportunities, land scarcity, political unrest, and resource discoveries encouraged millions of Europeans to migrate to America, shaping global labor markets and agricultural economies. How did rinderpest impact African societies in the late 19th century? Option A, it increased cattle production. Option B, it forced Africans into wage labor. Option C, it led to European withdrawal. Option D, it improved food security. The correct answer is option B. It forced Africans into wage labor. Explanation: rinderpest, a cattle plague, devastated African livestock, ruining local economies. With their primary resource gone, many Africans were forced into wage labor for European colonial employers. MCQ 10. What was one consequence of indentured labor migration from India? Option A, the decline of plantation economies. Option B, the emergence of Indian diasporic cultures. Option C, the end of British colonial rule. Option D, the rise of the cotton industry. The correct answer is option B, the emergence of Indian diasporic cultures. Explanation: indentured laborers carried Indian traditions, languages, and customs to regions like the Caribbean, Southeast Asia, and Africa. Over time, their descendants formed distinct diasporic communities, influencing local cultures. MCQ 11. What was one of the major reasons for the expansion of global agricultural trade in the 19th century? Option A, industrialization and rising food demand. Option B, the decline of European agriculture. Option C, the abolition of slavery. Option D, the spread of democracy. The correct answer is option A, industrialization and rising food demand. Explanation: as industrialization progressed in Europe, urban populations grew, leading to increased demand for food. This created a need for global agricultural trade, with food being imported from colonies and other regions. MCQ 12. What role did the British Indian government play in agricultural expansion in Punjab? Option A, encouraged subsistence farming. Option B, built irrigation canals for cash crop farming. Option C, introduced new crops like maize. Option D, restricted agricultural growth to protect local farmers. The correct answer is option B, built irrigation canals for cash crop farming. The British developed extensive irrigation systems in Punjab, turning semi-arid land into productive farmland. This was primarily to support the cultivation of wheat and cotton for export markets. MCQ 13. What was the primary impact of technological advancements like railways on global trade? Option A, increased production of luxury goods. Option B, faster transportation and lower costs. Option C, greater reliance on traditional trade routes. Option D, decrease in international trade. The correct answer is option B, faster transportation and lower costs. Explanation: railways linked agricultural and industrial centers with ports, allowing goods to be transported faster and more efficiently. This reduced costs and expanded global trade. MCQ 14. How did refrigerated ships revolutionize the meat trade in the late 19th century? Option A, allowed meat to be transported long distances without spoiling. Option B, increased the demand for live cattle exports. Option C, led to a decline in European meat consumption. Option D, encouraged more people to become vegetarians. The correct answer is option A, allowed meat to be transported long distances without spoiling. Explanation: refrigeration enabled meat to be slaughtered at the source and transported globally without spoilage, making it more affordable and accessible, particularly in Europe. MC 15. What was a major factor driving European colonization in Africa during the late 19th century? Option A, a desire to spread democracy. Option B, the search for new markets and resources. Option C, the fear of Chinese expansion. Option D, pressure from African leaders for European rule. The correct answer is option B, the search for new markets and resources. Explanation: European powers sought to exploit Africa's vast natural resources, including minerals and agricultural products, to fuel their industries and economic growth. M16. What was the purpose of the Berlin Conference of 1885? Option A, to divide Africa among European powers. Option B, to end the transatlantic slave trade. Option C, to promote African self-governance. Option D, to establish free trade in Africa. The correct answer is option A, to divide Africa among European powers. Explanation: European nations met in Berlin to formally divide African territories among themselves, leading to increased colonial rule and exploitation of African resources. MCQ 17. How did Rinderpest facilitate European control over African societies? Option A, it led to mass migration out of Africa. Option B, it created a labor shortage for European industries. Option C, it destroyed African cattle, forcing people into wage labor. Option D, it increased food security, making Africans less dependent on Europeans. The correct answer is option C. It destroyed African cattle, forcing people into wage labor. Explanation: the Rinderpest epidemic killed 90% of Africa's cattle, devastating local economies. With their primary resource gone, many Africans had no choice but to work for European employers. MC18. Why did Indian laborers migrate under the indentured labor system? Option A, to escape persecution in India. Option B, to seek adventure in new lands. Option C, due to economic hardships and declining rural employment. Option D, because they were forced by the British government. The correct answer is option C, due to economic hardships and declining rural employment. Explanation: many Indian laborers faced high rents, declining cottage industries, and debt. Indentured contracts promised better wages abroad, though working conditions were often harsh. MCQ 19. In which regions did most Indian indentured laborers work? Option A, Europe and North America. Option B, the Middle East and Japan. Option C, the Caribbean, Fiji, and Southeast Asia. Option D, China and Russia. The correct answer is option C, the Caribbean, Fiji, and Southeast Asia. Explanation: Indian indentured laborers were sent to work on plantations in the Caribbean, Mauritius, Fiji, and Malaya, where they played a crucial role in the colonial economy. 20. What cultural impact did Indian indentured laborers have in the Caribbean? Option A, they introduced new crops like wheat. Option B, they helped spread the English language. Option C, they influenced local music, religion, and festivals. Option D, they discouraged local traditions. The correct answer is option C, they influenced local music, religion, and festivals. Explanation: Indian laborers brought their religious practices, festivals, and music, which blended with local cultures. Traditions like Hosei and chutney music emerged from this cultural fusion. MC21. What was one of the main reasons for British dominance in global trade during the 19th century? Option A, Industrial Revolution and colonial expansion. Option B, military alliances with European powers. Option C, the decline of Asian economies. Option D, the discovery of oil in the Middle East. The correct answer is option A, Industrial Revolution and colonial expansion. Explanation: Britain's Industrial Revolution boosted production, while its colonial empire provided raw materials and markets, ensuring its dominance in global trade. MC22. How did Britain's control over India contribute to its global trade dominance? Option A, India provided a captive market for British goods. Option B, Indian industries outcompeted British industries. Option C. India's economy was stronger than Britain's. Option D. India helped Britain develop new industrial technologies. The correct answer is option A. India provided a captive market for British goods. Explanation: Britain imposed tariffs on Indian textiles while flooding India with British manufactured goods, turning India into a supplier of raw materials and a consumer of British products. MCQ 23. What was a major reason for the shift of world trade towards Europe in the 19th century? Option A. The rise of African economies. Option B. The decline of the American colonies. Option C. China's reduced role in global trade. Option D. The expansion of Japanese trade networks. The correct answer is option C. China's reduced role in global trade. Explanation: China limited its overseas trade in the 15th century, allowing European nations to dominate global trade routes and establish colonial economies. MCQ 24. Why was Britain's trade surplus with India important in the 19th century? Option A. It helped Britain pay for its imports from other countries. Option B. It allowed India to build a strong economy. Option C. It increased India's industrial output. Option D. It helped India reduce its dependence on Britain. The correct answer is option A. It helped Britain pay for its imports from other countries. Explanation: Britain used India's trade surplus to settle its trade deficits with other countries, making India crucial to Britain's global economic strategy. MC 25. What was the primary role of Indian bankers like the Shikarpuri Shroffs and Natotai Tai Chettiars in global trade? Option A. They controlled global trade routes. Option B. They financed export agriculture in Asia and Africa. Option C. They established British banking institutions. Option D. They supported European industrialists. The correct answer is option B. They financed export agriculture in Asia and Africa. Explanation: Indian bankers provided loans to plantation owners and traders, facilitating the expansion of cash crop agriculture in British colonies. MC 26. Why did British manufacturers pressure their government to impose tariffs on Indian textiles? Option A. To encourage competition with Indian weavers. Option B. To protect the British textile industry from Indian competition. Option C. To improve trade relations with India. Option D. To support India's economic growth. The correct answer is option B. To protect the British textile industry from Indian competition. Explanation: Indian textiles were superior to British ones, so British industrialists lobbied for high tariffs on Indian exports, crippling India's textile industry. MC 27. What was the primary export of India to China in the 19th century? Option A. Spices. Option B. Opium. Option C. Cotton textiles. Option D. Tea. The correct answer is option B. Opium. Explanation: Britain grew opium in India and exported it to China, using the profits to finance its tea and other imports from China, leading to the Opium Wars. 28. What was the economic impact of the First World War on Britain? Option A. Strengthened its industrial sector. Option B. Led to huge external debts and economic decline. Option C. Increased agricultural production. Option D. Reduced reliance on foreign trade. The correct answer is option B. Led to huge external debts and economic decline. Explanation: Britain borrowed heavily from the US and lost its dominant position in global trade, leading to long-term economic challenges. MC 29. How did the First World War impact Indian industries? Option A. Indian industries declined due to British policies. Option B. Indian industries grew as British imports decreased. Option C. Indian industries were unaffected. Option D. Indian industries stopped producing textiles. The correct answer is option B. Indian industries grew as British imports decreased. Explanation: The war disrupted British imports, leading to a rise in Indian industrial production to meet domestic demand. MCQ 30. Why did the US emerge as the dominant global economic power after the First World War? Option A. It had the largest colonial empire. Option B. It remained largely unaffected by the war and became a creditor nation. Option C. It defeated Britain in economic competition. Option D. It controlled global oil supplies. The correct answer is option B. It remained largely unaffected by the war and became a creditor nation. Explanation. While European nations suffered economic devastation, the US lent money to its allies, emerging as a dominant global creditor. MCQ 31. What was a major consequence of the First World War on the global economy? Option A. Strengthened European economies. Option B. Increased global economic stability. Option C. Economic decline and widespread unemployment. Option D. Growth in colonial economies. The correct answer is option C. Economic decline and widespread unemployment. Explanation. The war disrupted global trade, caused economic instability, and left many countries, including Britain, in deep debt, leading to widespread unemployment. MC 32. How did the war affect agricultural economies worldwide? Option A. Increased farm production. Option B. Led to a glut in wheat production and falling prices. Option C. Made agriculture more profitable. Option D. Reduced dependency on European markets. The correct answer is option B. Led to a glut in wheat production and falling prices. Explanation. During the war, wheat production increased in North America, but post-war, European farms revived, creating an oversupply and crashing prices. MCQ 33. What was Henry Ford's key innovation in industrial production? Option A. Use of skilled craftsmen. Option B. Development of electric motors. Option C. Assembly line production. Option D. Expansion of textile industries. The correct answer is option C. Assembly line production. Explanation. Ford introduced the assembly line, allowing faster car production by making workers specialize in one repetitive task, dramatically increasing efficiency. MCQ 34. Why did Henry Ford double wages for his factory workers? Option A. To reduce production costs. Option B. To encourage car purchases by workers. Option C. To comply with government regulations. Option D. To compete with British manufacturers. The correct answer is option B. To encourage car purchases by workers. Explanation. By increasing wages, Ford enabled his workers to buy the cars they produced, boosting demand and reinforcing mass production and consumption. MC 35. How did mass production impact consumer culture in the 1920s? Option A. Increased prices of goods. Option B. Made products cheaper and more accessible. Option C. Reduced demand for consumer goods. Option D. Encouraged government regulations on production. The correct answer is option B. Made products cheaper and more accessible. Explanation. Mass production lowered costs, making goods like cars, radios, and washing machines affordable for more people, leading to a consumer boom. MCQ 36. What was a major cause of the Great Depression of 1929? Option A. Overproduction and stock market speculation. Option B. Increased wages. Option C. Growth in global trade. Option D. Expansion of agricultural land. The correct answer is option A. Overproduction and stock market speculation. Explanation. Overproduction led to falling prices, while excessive stock market speculation created an unstable economy, resulting in a severe global financial crisis. MCQ 37. How did the Great Depression affect agricultural communities? Option A. Increased crop demand. Option B. Encouraged technological advancements. Option C. Lower crop prices and farmer bankruptcies. Option D. Led to expansion of European markets. The correct answer is option C. Lower crop prices and farmer bankruptcies. Explanation: agricultural prices collapsed, forcing many farmers into bankruptcy as they struggled to sell their produce at profitable prices. MCQ 38. What was the impact of the Great Depression on U.S. banks? Option A: increased banking profits. Option B: strengthened financial institutions. Option C: widespread bank failures and economic collapse. Option D: led to global banking expansion. The correct answer is option C: widespread bank failures and economic collapse. Explanation: many banks shut down due to loan defaults, wiping out savings and causing economic distress across the country. C39. How did the Great Depression impact India's economy? Option A: increased industrial growth. Option B: reduced agricultural prices and rural distress. Option C: strengthened India's export market. Option D: increased British investment in India. The correct answer is option B: reduced agricultural prices and rural distress. Explanation: the fall in global demand led to declining prices for Indian agricultural exports, increasing debt and hardship for farmers. MCQ 40. What effect did the Great Depression have on Indian nationalist movements? Option A: weakened the independence struggle. Option B: increased support for British rule. Option C: strengthened nationalist protests and demands for economic reforms. Option D: encouraged foreign investment in India. The correct answer is option C: strengthened nationalist protests and demands for economic reforms. Explanation: economic distress fueled resentment against British economic policies, strengthening movements like Gandhi's civil disobedience movement. MQ 41. How did the Great Depression contribute to Britain's economic struggles? Option A: strengthened British exports. Option B: increased employment rates. Option C: reduced global demand and trade. Option D: increased foreign investments in Britain. The correct answer is option C: reduced global demand and trade. Explanation: the Great Depression led to a decline in global trade, severely affecting Britain's export-dependent economy and increasing unemployment. M42. What was the impact of the Great Depression on Indian jute producers? Option A: increased jute demand. Option B: prices of jute collapsed. Option C: government subsidies for jute farmers. Option D: expansion of jute exports. The correct answer is option B: prices of jute collapsed. Explanation: the collapse of the global jute market due to the economic downturn caused jute prices to plummet, leaving Indian farmers in deep financial distress. MCQ 43. Why did Indian farmers face increasing debt during the Great Depression? Option A: British government increased taxes. Option B: crop prices fell drastically while taxes remained the same. Option C: government provided financial relief. Option D: demand for Indian crops increased. The correct answer is option B: crop prices fell drastically while taxes remained the same. Explanation: Indian farmers suffered due to falling crop prices, but the British government refused to reduce tax demands, pushing them into severe debt. M44. How did Indian gold exports impact the global economy during the Great Depression? Option A: helped Britain recover economically. Option B: strengthened India's economy. Option C: reduced Britain's economic dependence on India. Option D: increased global inflation. The correct answer is option A: helped Britain recover economically. Explanation: India's gold exports helped Britain stabilize its financial system during the economic crisis, but they did little to alleviate Indian poverty. MC45. What was one key lesson learned from the interwar economic crisis? Option A: government intervention is necessary for economic stability. Option B: free markets always regulate themselves. Option C: wars help boost the global economy. Option D: economic depressions only affect poor countries. The correct answer is option A: Government intervention is necessary for economic stability. Explanation. The crisis demonstrated that unregulated markets could lead to economic collapse, reinforcing the need for government involvement in managing the economy. MC 46. What was the main goal of the Bretton Woods Conference? Option A. Establish a stable global economic system. Option B. Encourage free trade without regulation. Option C. Support British colonial rule. Option D. Create a new currency to replace the US dollar. The correct answer is Option A. Establish a stable global economic system. Explanation. The Bretton Woods Conference led to the creation of institutions like the IMF and World Bank to regulate global finance and maintain economic stability. MCQ 47. What was the key feature of the Bretton Woods monetary system? Option A. Floating exchange rates. Option B. Fixed exchange rates based on the US dollar. Option C. Complete trade liberalization. Option D. Gold-backed Indian rupee. The correct answer is Option B. Fixed exchange rates based on the US dollar. Explanation. Under the Bretton Woods system, global currencies were pegged to the US dollar, which was backed by gold, ensuring stability in international trade. 48. Why did the US have a dominant role in the post-war economic order? Option A. It had the largest colonial empire. Option B. It emerged as the strongest economy after World War II. Option C. It controlled all international trade routes. Option D. European nations rejected economic recovery plans. The correct answer is Option B. It emerged as the strongest economy after World War II. Explanation. Unlike war-torn European nations, the US had a strong economy, allowing it to shape global financial institutions like the IMF and World Bank. MCQ 49. How did the Bretton Woods institutions, IMF and World Bank, initially function? Option A. Focused on the financial needs of industrialized countries. Option B. Provided loans exclusively to African nations. Option C. Encouraged complete government control of economies. Option D. Focused on eliminating trade tariffs. The correct answer is Option A. Focused on the financial needs of industrialized countries. Explanation. Initially, the IMF and World Bank were designed to assist war-affected industrial economies rather than address the development needs of poorer nations. MCQ 50. Why did developing countries demand a new international economic order, NIEO? Option A. To increase dependence on Western economies. Option B. To gain control over their resources and ensure fair trade. Option C. To establish military alliances. Option D. To promote unrestricted global capitalism. The correct answer is Option B. To gain control over their resources and ensure fair trade. Explanation. Developing countries sought economic reforms that would give them greater control over their natural resources, fair prices for exports, and better access to global markets. MC 51. What was a major reason for the collapse of the Bretton Woods system? Option A. Increase in gold reserves. Option B. Declining U.S. economic power and rising costs of overseas involvement. Option C. European rejection of the system. Option D. Introduction of new global currencies. The correct answer is Option B. Declining U.S. economic power and rising costs of overseas involvement. Explanation. By the late 1960s, the U.S. faced economic difficulties, and confidence in the U.S. dollar weakened, leading to the collapse of the fixed exchange rate system. 52. What replaced the fixed exchange rate system after the collapse of Bretton Woods? Option A. Return to the gold standard. Option B. Flexible exchange rates based on market demand. Option C. A new global currency. Option D. Barter trade system. The correct answer is Option B. Flexible exchange rates based on market demand. Explanation. After Bretton Woods collapsed, global currencies adopted a floating exchange rate system, where values fluctuated based on market demand and supply. MC53. What was one key effect of the rise of multinational corporations, MNCs, in the 20th century? Option A, economic growth in developing countries. Option B, decreased international trade. Option C, reduced foreign investments. Option D, elimination of local industries. The correct answer is option A, economic growth in developing countries. Explanation: MNCs invested in developing countries, creating jobs and boosting economies, though they also led to challenges like resource exploitation and market dominance. MCQ 54. Why did many multinational corporations shift production to Asian countries? Option A, higher wages and better working conditions. Option B, lower wages and cost-effective production. Option C, government pressure from Western nations. Option D, strict labor laws in Western countries. The correct answer is option B, lower wages and cost-effective production. Explanation: many MNCs relocated production to Asia due to lower labor costs, helping them maintain competitive pricing in global markets. MQ 55. How did China's economic policies contribute to globalization? Option A, it isolated itself from global markets. Option B, it imposed high tariffs on exports. Option C, it encouraged foreign investment and trade. Option D, it banned multinational corporations. The correct answer is option C, it encouraged foreign investment and trade. Explanation: China's economic reforms opened up markets, attracted foreign investment, and made it a major player in global trade, particularly in manufacturing. MCQ 56. What impact did globalization have on world trade in the late 20th century? Option A, decline in international trade. Option B, increased trade and economic interdependence. Option C, elimination of developing economies. Option D, complete removal of trade regulations. The correct answer is option B, increased trade and economic interdependence. Explanation: globalization led to greater economic connectivity, increased trade between nations, and the rise of global supply chains. MC 57. What is one major characteristic of the modern globalized economy? Option A, limited technological advancements. Option B, reduced financial flows. Option C, increased movement of goods, capital, and labor. Option D, decrease in industrialization. The correct answer is option C, increased movement of goods, capital, and labor. Explanation: the modern global economy is characterized by high trade volumes, foreign investments, and labor mobility across borders, promoting interdependence. MC 58. How did India benefit from globalization in the late 20th century? Option A, increased foreign investment and economic growth. Option B, decline in industrial production. Option C, reduction in employment opportunities. Option D, isolation from global markets. The correct answer is option A, increased foreign investment and economic growth. Explanation: India's economic reforms in the 1990s attracted foreign investment, boosted industries, and integrated the country into the global economy. MCQ 59. What was the impact of trade liberalization on developing economies? Option A, allowed greater access to global markets. Option B, strengthened economic isolation. Option C, led to economic stagnation. Option D, encouraged protectionist policies. The correct answer is option A, allowed greater access to global markets. Explanation: trade liberalization enabled developing nations to expand exports, attract foreign capital, and integrate into global supply chains, though it also posed challenges. MCQ 60. How has globalization affected labor markets worldwide? Option A, increased demand for skilled labor and outsourcing. Option B, reduced employment opportunities. Option C, limited mobility of workers. Option D, decreased technological advancements. The correct answer is option A, increased demand for skilled labor and outsourcing. Explanation: Globalization has led to outsourcing, increased demand for skilled workers, and job creation in emerging markets, though it also resulted in job displacement in some industries. MCQ 61. What was one major challenge faced by developing countries in the global economy? Option A, limited access to natural resources. Option B, high levels of industrialization. Option C, unequal trade relationships with developed nations. Option D, complete independence from foreign investment. The correct answer is option C, unequal trade relationships with developed nations. Explanation. Developing countries often faced unfavorable trade terms, dependency on exports of raw materials, and economic dominance by powerful industrialized nations. MC 62. What was the significance of the Group of 77, G77, in global economic discussions? Option A. It aimed to promote the interests of developing nations. Option B. It was an alliance of European economies. Option C. It controlled global trade policies. Option D. It regulated multinational corporations. The correct answer is option A. It aimed to promote the interests of developing nations. Explanation. The G77 was formed by developing countries to push for fairer trade policies, economic development, and better representation in global financial institutions. M63. Why did many developing nations demand a new international economic order, NIEO? Option A, to reduce economic competition. Option B, to gain greater control over their resources and trade terms. Option C, to eliminate international trade. Option D, to increase their dependence on Western economies. The correct answer is option B, to gain greater control over their resources and trade terms. Explanation. Developing nations sought reforms to secure fair prices for raw materials, better trade terms, and greater autonomy in managing their economic policies. MC 64. What role did technology play in the rise of globalization? Option A, it slowed down international trade. Option B, it had no significant impact. Option C, it improved communication, transportation, and production efficiency. Option D, it increased barriers between nations. The correct answer is option C. It improved communication, transportation, and production efficiency. Explanation. Advances in technology facilitated global trade, improved logistics, and enabled businesses to operate efficiently across borders, fueling globalization. 65. How did the expansion of multinational corporations impact developing economies? Option A. Created jobs and economic growth, but also led to resource exploitation. Option B. Reduced trade between nations. Option C. Strengthened local businesses. Option D. Eliminated foreign influence in domestic markets. The correct answer is option A. Created jobs and economic growth, but also led to resource exploitation. Explanation. MNCs brought investment and employment, but often exploited natural resources and dominated local markets, sometimes harming domestic industries. MC 66. Why did the US dollar become the dominant global currency after World War II? Option A. It was backed by the gold standard under the Bretton Woods system. Option B. The US had the largest military. Option C. Other currencies were banned in global trade. Option D. It replaced the British pound as the official currency. The correct answer is option A. It was backed by the gold standard under the Bretton Woods system. Explanation. The Bretton Woods system established the US dollar as the world's primary currency, pegged to gold, making it the foundation of international trade. 67. What was one major reason for the global debt crisis in developing countries? Option A. Excessive borrowing from Western banks. Option B. Lack of natural resources. Option C. Decline in global trade. Option D. High levels of agricultural productivity. The correct answer is option A, excessive borrowing from Western banks. Explanation. Developing nations relied on loans from Western financial institutions, leading to debt accumulation and economic crises when they struggled to repay them. M68. How did decolonization impact the global economy? Option A. Newly independent nations faced economic challenges and dependence on former colonial powers. Option B. Colonized nations immediately became self-sufficient. Option C. It ended international trade. Option D. It led to the decline of European economies. The correct answer is Option A. Newly independent nations faced economic challenges and dependence on former colonial powers. Explanation. Many newly independent nations struggled with poverty, lack of infrastructure, and reliance on foreign aid, making economic growth difficult. MCQ 69. What was a key factor in the economic rise of China in the late 20th century? Option A. Adoption of market reforms and foreign investments. Option B. Isolation from global trade. Option C. Dependence on agricultural exports. Option D. Elimination of industrial production. The correct answer is Option A. Adoption of market reforms and foreign investments. Explanation. China's economic reforms opened its markets to foreign investment, encouraged manufacturing, and transformed the country into a global economic powerhouse. MCQ 70. What led to the shift of industrial production from Western countries to Asia? Option A. High labor costs in Western countries and lower wages in Asia. Option B. Decline in consumer demand. Option C. Increase in trade barriers. Option D. End of the Cold War. The correct answer is Option A. High labor costs in Western countries and lower wages in Asia. Explanation. Western companies moved production to Asian countries where labor was cheaper, increasing global trade and production efficiency. MCQ 71. How did trade liberalization impact developing countries? Option A. It provided greater access to global markets, but also increased competition. Option B. It eliminated the need for exports. Option C. It reduced economic growth. Option D. It led to economic isolation. The correct answer is Option A. It provided greater access to global markets, but also increased competition. Explanation. Trade liberalization allowed developing nations to participate in global markets, but it also exposed them to competition from stronger economies, sometimes harming local industries. MC 72. What was the impact of globalization on employment patterns? Option A. Increased outsourcing and the rise of service industries. Option B. Decreased global workforce mobility. Option C. Reduced demand for skilled labor. Option D. Strengthened traditional agricultural jobs. The correct answer is Option A. Increased outsourcing and the rise of service industries. Explanation. Globalization led to job outsourcing to lower-wage countries and a shift towards service-based economies in developed nations. MCQ 73. How did multinational corporations, MNCs, influence global trade? Option A. They expanded trade networks and increased economic interdependence. Option B. They promoted local businesses over international trade. Option C. They focused only on domestic markets. Option D. They reduced globalization efforts. The correct answer is Option A. They expanded trade networks and increased economic interdependence. MNCs connected different economies through investment, supply chains, and trade, driving globalization and economic interdependence. 74. Why did some developing nations struggle despite globalization? Option A. Unequal trade terms and dependency on foreign capital. Option B. Complete isolation from world trade. Option C. High industrial productivity. Option D. Over-reliance on technology. The correct answer is Option A. Unequal trade terms and dependency on foreign capital. Explanation. Many developing nations face challenges like unfair trade policies, reliance on exports of raw materials, and economic dependence on industrialized nations. MCQ 75. How did China's entry into the global economy impact world trade? Option A. It became a leading manufacturing hub and major exporter. Option B. It reduced global trade activity. Option C. It stopped foreign investments. Option D. It discouraged technological advancements. The correct answer is Option A. It became a leading manufacturing hub and major exporter. Explanation: China's low-cost manufacturing and trade policies turned it into a dominant force in global exports, reshaping international trade patterns. 76. What was one major reason for financial instability in the global economy after the 1970s? Option A. The shift to floating exchange rates. Option B. The expansion of fixed exchange rates. Option C. The elimination of stock markets. Option D. The introduction of a single global currency. The correct answer is Option A. The shift to floating exchange rates. Explanation: After the collapse of the Bretton Woods system, exchange rates fluctuated based on market forces, leading to financial instability. C7. What is a major characteristic of economic globalization? Option A. Integration of markets, trade, and investments across borders. Option B. Decrease in international trade. Option C. Complete self-sufficiency of nations. Option D. Reduction in foreign direct investment. The correct answer is Option A. Integration of markets, trade, and investments across borders. Explanation: Economic globalization connects markets worldwide, allowing goods, services, and capital to flow freely between countries. MCQ 78. How has technological advancement contributed to globalization? Option A. It facilitated faster communication, transportation, and financial transactions. Option B. It limited global trade. Option C. It reduced industrial output. It encouraged isolationist policies. The correct answer is Option A. It facilitated faster communication, transportation, and financial transactions. Explanation: Innovations like the internet, modern shipping, and digital banking have accelerated globalization by making global interactions more efficient. MC 79. How did financial institutions contribute to global economic growth in the late 20th century? Option A. They provided capital for investment and trade expansion. Option B. They restricted capital flow to developing countries. Option C. They only focused on European markets. Option D. They eliminated international trade. The correct answer is Option A. They provided capital for investment and trade expansion. Explanation: Institutions like the IMF and World Bank financed infrastructure and development projects, supporting economic growth in many regions. What is one negative effect of globalization on developing economies? Option A. Increased dependence on foreign capital and economic vulnerability. Option B. Strengthened small-scale local industries. Option C. Complete control over global trade policies. Option D. Reduction in financial crises. The correct A. Increased dependence on foreign capital and economic vulnerability. Explanation: While globalization brought investment and economic growth, it also made developing nations more dependent on foreign capital, making them vulnerable to global economic shifts. MCQ 81. How did globalization affect international labor migration? Option A. It increased migration due to job opportunities in different countries. Option B. It reduced migration by strengthening local economies. Option C. It eliminated the need for skilled workers. Option D. It created job shortages in developed nations. The correct answer is Option A. It increased migration due to job opportunities in different countries. Explanation: Globalization led to labor migration as workers moved across borders in search of better economic opportunities, impacting both home and host countries. 82. Why did some critics oppose globalization? Option A. It led to economic inequality and exploitation of developing countries. Option B. It strengthened local businesses. Option C, it eliminated trade barriers completely. Option D, it only benefited developing nations. The correct answer is option A. It led to economic inequality and exploitation of developing countries. Explanation. Critics argue that globalization benefits powerful nations and corporations while exploiting developing economies through unfair trade practices and low wages. MCQ 83. What was a key effect of the rise of multinational corporations in the late 20th century? Option A. Increased foreign direct investment and industrial expansion. Option B. Reduced economic growth. Option C. Decline in global trade. Option D. Strengthening of self-sufficient economies. The correct answer is option A. Increased foreign direct investment and industrial expansion. Explanation. MNCs boosted industrialization in many countries by investing in infrastructure, technology, and production facilities, but also raised concerns about local market dominance. MCQ 84. How did digital technology contribute to economic globalization? Option A. It facilitated faster global communication and financial transactions. Option B. It restricted business operations. Option C. It eliminated trade agreements. Option D. It reduced labor efficiency. The correct answer is option A. It facilitated faster global communication and financial transactions. Explanation. Digital advancements like the internet, online banking, and e-commerce enabled businesses to operate globally with greater efficiency. 85. What impact did the financial liberalization of the 1980s and 1990s have on developing economies? Option A. Increased capital flow and economic growth. Option B. Strengthened trade barriers. Option C. Reduced investment in infrastructure. Option D. Eliminated stock markets. The correct answer is option A. Increased capital flow and economic growth. Explanation. Financial liberalization allowed developing nations to attract foreign investments, boosting industries and infrastructure development. MCQ 86. What was a major challenge for developing countries in integrating into the global economy? Option A. Trade imbalances and dependency on foreign markets. Option B. Complete control over world trade. Option C. Lack of natural resources. Option D. Dominance of agricultural economies. The correct answer is option A. Trade imbalances and dependency on foreign markets. Explanation. Many developing countries struggled with trade deficits, relying on raw material exports while importing expensive finished goods. MCQ 87. How did economic globalization affect income inequality? Option A. It widened the gap between rich and poor nations. Option B. It eliminated economic disparity. Option C. It made all economies equally developed. Option D. It reduced wage differences. The correct answer is option A. It widened the gap between rich and poor nations. Explanation. While globalization created wealth, it often disproportionately benefited developed countries and the wealthy elite, increasing economic disparities. CQ 88. Why did some industries relocate manufacturing to developing countries? Option A. Lower production costs and access to cheap labor. Option B. Strong labor unions. Option C. Stricter environmental laws. Option D. Reduced global trade. The correct answer is option A. Lower production costs and access to cheap labor. Explanation. Many industries moved production to countries with lower wages and fewer regulations, reducing costs and increasing profitability. 89. What was one effect of the expansion of global financial markets? Option A. Increased cross-border investments and economic integration. Option B. Decreased capital movement. Option C. Strengthened government control over industries. Option D. Reduction in global trade. The correct answer is option A. Increased cross-border investments and economic integration. Explanation. Global financial markets facilitated international investments, allowing businesses to expand operations across multiple countries. 90. How has globalization influenced consumer culture worldwide? Option A. It spread international brands and increased product diversity. Option B. It eliminated traditional markets. Option C. It restricted access to global goods. Option D. It reduced consumer choices. The correct answer is option A. It spread international brands and increased product diversity. Explanation. Globalization introduced international brands to new markets, offering consumers access to diverse products and influencing local shopping habits. MCQ 91. How did globalization affect traditional industries in developing countries? Option A. It exposed them to competition from mass-produced global goods. Option B. It strengthened traditional industries. Option C. It eliminated multinational corporations. Option D. It reduced international trade. The correct answer is option A. It exposed them to competition from mass-produced global goods. Explanation. Many traditional industries struggled to compete with mass-produced goods from industrialized nations, leading to job losses and economic shifts. 92. What is a key feature of the modern global economy? Option A. Interconnected markets and multinational supply chains. Option B. Elimination of financial institutions. Option C. Self-sufficiency of individual economies. Option D. Reduction in international trade. The correct answer is option A. Interconnected markets and multinational supply chains. Explanation. Modern globalization has led to an interconnected economy where goods, services, and capital move across borders, fostering economic interdependence. 93. How has globalization influenced environmental concerns? Option A. It increased industrial pollution and resource depletion. Option B. It completely eliminated environmental risks. Option C. It had no impact on the environment. Option D. It encouraged only eco-friendly industries. The correct answer is option A. It increased industrial pollution and resource depletion. Explanation. Rapid industrialization and large-scale production due to globalization have led to pollution, deforestation, and climate change concerns. 94. Why do some economists argue against protectionist trade policies? Option A. They restrict international trade and economic growth. Option B. They eliminate economic inequality. Option C. They increase global trade opportunities. Option D. They promote unrestricted immigration. The correct answer is option A. They restrict international trade and economic growth. Explanation. Protectionist policies, such as tariffs and trade barriers, limit economic interactions between nations, slowing trade and economic expansion. MCQ 95. How has the rise of e-commerce affected global trade? Option A. It has expanded markets and increased international transactions. Option B. It reduced economic activity. Option C. It eliminated traditional businesses. Option D. It led to complete economic isolation. The correct answer is option A. It has expanded markets and increased international transactions. Explanation. E-commerce has enabled businesses to reach global customers, facilitating international trade and changing consumer behavior. MCQ 96. What is a major criticism of financial globalization? Option A. It increases vulnerability to economic crises. Option B. It ensures economic stability. Option C. It reduces economic inequality. Option D. It eliminates trade deficits. The correct answer is option A. It increases vulnerability to economic crises. Explanation. Financial globalization allows rapid capital movement, which can destabilize economies and lead to financial crises in interconnected markets. M97. How did global economic institutions like the IMF impact developing nations? Option A. They provided financial assistance, but sometimes imposed strict economic policies. Option B. They eliminated debt burdens. Option C. they restricted economic growth. Option D, they promoted isolationist policies. The correct answer is option A. They provided financial assistance, but sometimes imposed strict economic policies. Explanation. The IMF provided loans to struggling economies, but often required austerity measures that led to social and economic hardships. MC 98. How did the COVID-19 pandemic impact globalization? Option A. It disrupted global supply chains and slowed international trade. Option B. It eliminated digital transactions. Option C. It strengthened labor migration. Option D. It increased demand for traditional banking. The correct answer is option A. It disrupted global supply chains and slowed international trade. Explanation. The pandemic led to major disruptions in trade, travel, and supply chains, highlighting vulnerabilities in the global economy. MCQ 99. What is the role of trade agreements in globalization? Option A. They facilitate free trade and economic cooperation between countries. Option B. They eliminate trade between nations. Option C. They restrict foreign investments. Option D. They reduce diplomatic relations. The correct answer is option A. They facilitate free trade and economic cooperation between countries. Explanation. Trade agreements help countries lower tariffs, standardize regulations, and encourage economic partnerships, boosting international trade. MCQ 100. How has globalization affected cultural exchange? Option A. It has increased cross-cultural interactions and the spread of ideas. Option B. It has eliminated cultural diversity. Option C. It has restricted international travel. Option D. It has prevented technological advancements. The correct answer is option A. It has increased cross-cultural interactions and the spread of ideas. Explanation. Globalization has allowed cultures to influence each other through media, fashion, food, and technology, leading to greater cultural exchange and diversity. Congratulations on completing this comprehensive MCQ session on the making of a global world with ExHub MCQs. By now, you've gained in-depth knowledge of globalization, trade, and its impact on the global economy. Each MCQ was carefully designed with detailed explanations to strengthen your conceptual clarity and boost your exam performance. Remember, mastering MCQs is the key to success in competitive exams. To continue excelling, make sure to revisit the video to revise tricky questions, pause and practice the MCQs to test your memory, take notes on important explanations for quick revisions. If you found this video helpful, like, share, and subscribe to ExHub MCQs for more exam-focused content. Don't forget to hit the bell icon for instant notifications on our latest uploads, including mock tests, PYQs, and concept revisions. Drop your feedback and topic suggestions in the comments. We're here to help you master every chapter with the most relevant MCQs. Keep learning, keep growing, and stay ahead in your exam preparation with ExHub MCQs.